Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Enjoying Orange Slices, the fifth most popular podcast that involves hockey in Australia. Or we're aiming to get ourselves to number 2 by the end of the week. This is a great episode where we give our opinions about the playoffs that are going on. We hope for Winnipeg, but we don't pray for Winnipeg. So have a good time. Make sure you like, rate, and review, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for joining, everybody. Enjoy. And we're back to Monday morning talking about hockey. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Lord Bagg. I'm good. How are you?
Big. Hey, did you go to both games in Las Vegas this week?
No, I went to the Friday night game. We're here on Monday. I didn't go to the Sunday night game because that's for another time. Why I didn't end up at that one. But I will be at Game 6, so we can talk about that
very
as well.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Did you wear your gold coat? Did you wear your gold coat that you have?
No. Michelle wore the lovely and talented wife, Michelle. She wore the gold coat, which was originally for me. I guess I should get that gold coat and show it. It's I don't know. I don't think I can.
First one of these episodes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll wear it on one if they end up taking Colorado out this series. Maybe I'll wear it. But it'd be a special occasion. I mean, I don't even know how special it would be if they took Colorado out because I really like both teams. But
it is very hard to pick between both teams, right? Which team is better? Although I feel more of a connection to Las Vegas with DeBoer and Spotter. There is why I think I have more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously we live in Vegas, so we're going to pull for Vegas. It's been an incredible ride. The first 4 years they've been in town, and T-Mobile, the buzz in T-Mobile on Friday night was unlike anything I think I've ever seen down there. And we've been down there. We've been so fortunate to be down there for so much craziness and excitement. But the pace, the noise, the superstars, and I know we'll get to Coach Bednar in a minute about how Colorado's playing, but man, oh man, are they fast and are they good? And guys like Rantanen and that, when you get to see them up close, McKinnon, McCarr, these guys are just a whole nother level of player.
It's a whole different level of a game when you go see it live. And those two teams against each other are way different than what's going on in Canada right now, which is just I don't even know how to describe it. What do you think? Is it gross hockey or is it slow hockey? Is it grinding? I tried to watch the full game yesterday and I just couldn't do it. I just could not put myself through this. And I'm disappointed in a lot of the Winnipeg players, like that whole. And I'm just disappointed in a lot of them. That whole trade for with let me grab my thoughts and then get back to you. That whole trade with Columbus is just a washout. Both sides lost on that trade.
Well, I would say the first comment I would have on the series in the North is the difference between the two series that are the three that are going on in the South and the North is there's fans in the building. And I know that, these guys all played last year with no fans and in the bubble, and they were able to create unbelievable hockey and excitement. But no, you're not. What? Don't.
No, I don't think it's the fans
like that. Like I don't know I'm just giving you an angle. I'm giving you something to talk about. Instead, you're like shaking your head. Next, your hands are going to be into it.
I love it. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's like, give me a chance at least finish. Then you're over there shaking your head at me. People on video,
I fight you on it. I don't think it's the fans being in the building. I think it's the hockey that is in the building that makes it boring.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you that I'm on the edge of my seat watching Montreal and Winnipeg. That's for sure.
Oh man,
I don't know what's happened to Winnipeg. They've kind of done a 180. What happened between them and Edmonton. The game seems to be really, I don't know. It's not the same. And I just think that one of the biggest reasons you're not getting this crazy swings or crazy stuff happening is because in the games down in the States, you get a lot of fan interaction. You've got just think about it. Vegas is nuts. Colorado, Denver's nuts. Boston's nuts. Long Island is crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got the Caniacs in Carolina And now Tampa Bay, who just doesn't do anything but seem to kind of score in the power play and win and
Right.
get ready to move on. So I would say that the hockey looks to be, I think the emotion in the building is driving a lot of what you're seeing down here, and it's fantastic. You're not seeing as much in Canada, although it looks like Montreal is getting ready to step into the first team to be in the Final Four, and they have just as good a chance as anyone else once they get there. They've won six in a row now. If they win tonight, which is a Monday, they put Winnipeg out. It'll be 7 in a row. So,
Well,
here's the game, but
here's the thing for it. I don't. When you look at it, you say if Montreal gets to the Final Four, they're gone, right? But at the same time, with Carey Price, you don't know whether that's true or not.
Well, that would be totally disrespectful of a team that all they've done is just play by the rules. Now, I will say this about Montreal. They've been very fortunate the last 2 years. Oh, did I robot there?
No, they didn't robot. You just all they did was play by the rules.
Yeah, well, I know. All of a sudden, be down at the principal's office later, getting some kind of medal. But I would say they got in last year. They were the last team into the top 24 in the bubble, right? Mm-hmm. So they took advantage of that. They did really well. Didn't have a great season, even though they started off really well. Then all of a sudden they started to catch fire, and they're playing a real simple game. What we talked about all year with them is paying off. Price in goal is starting to pay off, but their big four defensemen, Edmondson, Petrie, Weber, and Sherratt, are doing what we thought they were capable of doing. They're getting some timely goal scoring. So look out. I mean, original 16 too. I love it. I think it's really exciting that we don't like to see our boy Flats take it on the chin like they are in Winnipeg right now. But I mean, Montreal is full marks for me.
He, Wade's not. If you blame it on Wade, his goaltender has been absolutely lights out. He was been great. So he has not been the problem in Winnipeg. But the other side, back to the coaches in Montreal. To me, like it looks like he's not overcoaching. At first, I was like, he might not be coaching at all. They may have told him to shut up because he doesn't seem to do anything except for look confused. But I was like, maybe he's just got it so simple that he doesn't overdo it once they start playing. Like he trusts them enough. So he's giving them enough rope that they're able to do what they need to do.
Absolutely. Playing very simple. I mean, it's not the most exciting brand of hockey you're ever going to see. I mean, they're kind of another version of the way the Islanders are a lot more exciting than they used to be, but they lost it down. Montreal.
Wouldn't that be great if it was Montreal and New York in the final?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Montreal, you would look, they're going to get Vegas or Colorado, and on first look at that, you'd be like, well, there's nothing there. But if they win tonight, they're going to have all kinds of time off, rest up to get ready for the next team. Vegas and Colorado is going 6 for sure. There's better than probably 50-50 chance it goes 7, but they're going to go 6 for sure. Montreal has a chance to be the first team in tonight. And it sounds like they're going to start lifting restrictions up north. So they might be able to get some fans in that building. And they got a great goalie and they got a really strong top 4D. So we'll see what they do. But they got to get by Winnipeg first, but they look really good.
They look really good, and it could be exciting. I think the next round is actually when it gets most exciting, when you get teams that haven't played each other all year. So the first 2 or 3 games are going to be them feeling each other out. So that's going to be some interesting hockey. Ooh, look at my eyes go huge. Ooh, that's going to be some interesting hockey right there. I look forward to that. Okay, so we've talked about Montreal. Let's go back to Toronto, just because we didn't talk about Toronto getting knocked out last week because they hadn't been knocked out yet, had they? Does anybody remember?
No, I don't think they had been because what happened was we rolled right into. I think they played.
They played Monday night
on the Monday. But hey, you got to tell everyone the best line that we heard from our good friend Luciano Casamare. You got to drop that one. What did he say when they lost?
After Toronto lost, he said, "Hockey season is officially over."
I love it.
So crazy.
Love it. Every time you see him, he's running around here in Vegas with a Golden Knights hat on. But I think he's probably got Maple Leafs t-shirts and underwear on underneath for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
funny. Well,
I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't think it's Toronto's time yet. They haven't gotten enough. They haven't got it yet. And I love Matthews and I love Marner and we really love the old goaltender Jake. No, Joe. Jake. We love him so much. I'm going to forget his name. Jack Campbell he's one of our favorites here, and we love the old guys on that team, but it just hasn't done this yet.
No.
So I don't think Toronto's. They always freak out about teams that do really well and then suck in the playoffs, and then it takes them a couple years, and then it moves over. It's just not there yet. They're kind of like, remember Tampa getting knocked out by Columbus in the first round? They're that. You got to have that. You got to have that memory happen to you.
Well, one of the things, I mean, Jack Campbell wasn't the reason they got knocked out either. But one of the things is in Tampa, they got Vasilevsky, who's every year it seems like they're talking about him for the Vezina, talking about him being one of the best goalies. So they definitely have that. Toronto, I think,
when they played Columbus, he stank.
Yeah, that's a couple of years. Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that hurt Toronto this year is when they lost Muzzin. I think it was in game 6 in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
That really hurt them. I think they could use another D. Every team could use another defenseman, I think, pretty much. But they could use another D. But one of the problems that they have, it's the same problem that Edmonton has, is they got a lot of money invested up front in their forwards.
Mm-hmm.
And Montreal, conversely, has a lot of money invested on the back end in their defense and their goalie. I don't know what the answer is going to be in Toronto. They're an exciting team to watch.
They got to be going after what's his face in Columbus. They got to be thinking about making a play for him, putting a package together for him, right?
Oh, for Seth Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, or, I think Columbus is probably open for business, although with John Davidson being back there, I'm not sure Columbus is going to be in a big hurry to start moving out big parts of their team. But if Seth Jones becomes an unrestricted free agent, it doesn't matter. But if they we'll have to wait and see what happens to Columbus. But Toronto, to me, very entertaining team, one of the fastest teams in the league, but just couldn't get that next gear they needed to get by Montreal. It was very stingy.
Do you think they should be in? Is it Eichel in Buffalo? Should they be going after him? He's a defense.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, you know what? Why not make a call? The problem is in today's NHL is the salary cap was at $81.5 million last year. It's going to be at $81.5 million for a while. So you have teams like Vegas, you have teams like Toronto, you have teams like Edmonton, Tampa Bay's right there too, that don't have a lot of. It's got to be money in, money out, right? So a team like I believe Chicago's got a ton of cap space, LA's got cap space, San Jose has some, and our friends in Denver definitely have some. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Those assholes in their pocketbook.
Yeah, well, think about this too. You talk about not being ready yet. We're going to see what's going to happen here in the next, I guess 48, 72 hours, whatever, with Vegas and Colorado. But Colorado right now, Vegas is, kind of got a little bit of a hop on them the last two games. And I think a lot of that is their playoff experience. They're a little bit more of a veteran team. It'll be interesting to see how Colorado does in the next two games. But one of the things that I watch in that series is you can't teach experience, but you can definitely learn from it. So the question is Colorado ready to make that next step? And if they're not, they're just building momentum, and they also have cap space to add to that core they have over there. So we're not counting Colorado by a long shot, but it's very interesting. One of the teams that's competing for this cup, one of the best teams in the league, and that's cap space, a rarity.
Let's talk about Colorado right now. Because we've talked about coaching in Montreal. We've talked about cap space. Let's talk about the article that was written about the coach in Colorado. What did you think?
Yeah, and for people that don't follow it closely, the Denver Post wrote an article on Saturday, this last Saturday after the Friday night game, that Vegas came back and scored 2 goals in 45 seconds to beat Denver. And it was basically after the game, Bednar, their coach, was very upfront and honest that he didn't feel they were getting enough. And he kind of went on a little bit. It's not really his style to do that, but he kind of called his team out. and you would have thought it was scorched earth policy in Denver. The paper, it all blew up, and I just wonder if he's starting to see something that's concerning him, and he was trying to get out in front of it. They ended up Vegas took over the game last night, got their power play going, even though Colorado scored first. But Vegas, as the game went on, they got really rolling. So not his style. Like Eddie Olczyk said last night, I think even you said it, Lord Bagg. Coach Bednar pushed all in on that. When you come out and call out your team like that, you're going all in, and it's gonna, it could be the greatest move ever, or it could be a move that you wish you had maybe rounded off the edges a bit more on.
That guy would be unemployed for about 3 seconds.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Who wouldn't want Bednar with what he's done in Colorado? It wasn't that long ago that they were last in the league. And Joe Sakic, who's the GM there, is a fantastic guy and a Hall of Fame player, is not the kind of guy to panic. They've been very, very patient building that team. And a bounce here, a bounce there in the next 2 games. And they could have the upper hand on Vegas easily. Right now, it just struck me as funny. They were up 2-1, and it was like, boom, all this stuff in the press and calling out the players. And you just don't see that as much in today's.
No, you don't. You see it in Columbus is where you see it. It's interesting, as you say, though, that he pushed in on down 2-1. Like, you think that would have been after yesterday's game that he would have pushed that hard.
Yeah,
it may have been a little bit of fault, but I also agree with you how they have been patient. So why you can't panic now,
right?
You have such a juggernaut, like everybody's been saying for a couple of years. Oh my God, Avalanche are going to be in trouble. And did we think it was going to be this year? No, but it's starting to happen already. So,
well, they're right on the verge, and they've got all kinds of room. Their superstars are young now. Sometimes you want to put
super.
What's that?
Their superstars are super.
Oh, they are. They're super. But they are. They're super young. They're going to have to pay Makar here in the next year or two. But I got to tell you, if you want to, Mikko Rantanen, I knew he was great when I saw him a couple of years ago here. I didn't see him last year.
Write that down. Write that down. Jeff thought he was great a couple of years ago.
Well, I did, but I didn't realize, you should see how he controls the game out there. He's such a big part of McKinnon-Landeskog line. It's impressive. But Makar, to me, is like that guy. He I don't know if there's another player that's ever played the game that moves laterally like this young man does, and his ceiling is there is no ceiling for him. So, and another really good young player, but these guys are young, is Gerard. I mean, Gerard's not that big, but he's really good too. So I don't know. It kind of struck me as odd. The more I watch, I'm like, are they trying to, coming around the clubhouse turn? Is he trying to get in and try and get more out of the horses? Absolutely is, but we'll see if the horses have more to give. I mean, these guys usually find a way, so it'll be
right. It's funny. I was talking to Brett Paulser the other day. They're throwing out a terrace name. Yeah. Brett Paulser, I was talking to him the other day, and he said if he was building a team right now, he would build a little bit older with a couple younger guys rather than a younger guys. It seems right now they're going with a lot of younger guys with a couple older guys. He feels that the experience and then build those guys up, and that'll give you a winning team. I kind of agree with him. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, if you look at the difference between Vegas and Colorado's all the, Landeskog's been in the league for a long time too, and he's an incredible player. You got some other guys that have been there a while, but they are a little younger. Whereas you look at a team like Vegas, Tampa, they're a little bit older, and even Montreal a little bit older, but they plugged in young guys in really important positions. Yeah. And like you look at Tampa Bay, they got a bunch of young guys playing in that lineup, mostly down in the bottom 6. But forwards, but they're in there. Vegas has got young guys in the lineup in the bottom 6 forwards, and they have them playing like White Cloud plays in the top 4D in Vegas, and he's what, 22, 23. Right. Nick Hague's new. So they've got cost certainty in these young guys, but they're really good young players. And so, let's not kid anybody though. Colorado's right there too. So
it's like those oranges behind you. You got your where are they ripe, or you want to get when they're ripe, they're delicious. Then they're just a little bit ahead of their time. They look good, but they're not good. You want them ripe. Hockey teams are like oranges. Make sure you pick the good ones. Oh my goodness. Hey, I got something I'm gonna just throw out there to everybody at home. I feel like I was watching the Hurricanes and Tampa the other day, and the Hurricanes were the at home team. They are they get the advantage, the home team advantage. And
Right.
I feel, listen to this, everybody, listen to this.
Well, listen, I'm looking down at something we got to talk about in a minute. So you go ahead and keep going.
Okay, I feel
Yeah.
that when you win the Stanley Cup, you should be given the automatic home advantage the next year in the playoffs. And that means that, another team can still win the President's Cup and have their home advantage if they're not playing the Stanley Cup champion. I feel the Stanley Cup champion has the advantage over whatever team. Thoughts?
So you think it doesn't matter? What if they don't make the playoffs?
Then they don't get the home advantage. I still think the President's trophy winner should get the home advantage as long as they're not playing the Stanley Cup champion. Stanley Cup champion has played the most games over the last year. They should get some sort of advantage.
The Stanley Cup's not enough.
Oh my God, you don't have to listen to me. Sometimes I don't even know why we do this podcast. You're just trying to take me.
You know what? I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I'm trying to help you. I think is what I'm trying to say. Is I get it. But what happens if say Tampa Bay this year they finished fourth in their division? They were fourth, right? Or were they third? They were third or fourth. Actually, they had to. No, who ended up? They were third because they got fourth. So. No, Florida had the home ice on them in the first round. Right. So you're going to tell me, what you're saying is because they won the Cup last year and they played all those extra games, for them to be back in, that should be worth something.
Yep.
So I get it. Okay.
So they get a little bit of advantage.
Opinion on that out there, and they will chime in. But it would be interesting. I mean, how about? The President's Trophy winner gets it anyway, so we kind of already have the best team of the year, but you're saying, hey, if you got it done last year, and what did Tampa Bay play? 26 games, 25 games. So yeah, I see where you're coming from, Mr. Bagg.
At first you didn't. You had to talk yourself through it. At first you just told me.
But I'm just still like, nah, I'm not. No, you know what? Maybe next time you come to town in a couple of weeks, we can sit down and chat it out on the way out to the desert.
Yeah, just swear more. You'll swear a lot more when we talk about it off air.
Hey, I very clean.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people are impressed how they said, "Oh, I've never heard Jeff Sharples talk without laying down a fact."
Hey, what about that other question we got this week? Well, you're talking about stuff.
I completely forgot about that question. You got it on your phone? Let's read it. That's a great question.
Okay, well, give me a second. Can you do some or something? We'll pull this up on my phone here.
Why don't you make sure you robot out for a second? That'll help everything out, and then we'll just continue on from there. We'll just make sure.
Okay. I feel like I'm back in the classroom trying to read. What's your stance on cheering for rivals after your team is eliminated? As a diehard Oiler fan, I'd rather have the world burn than cheer for any other Canadian team. The concept of Canada's team is insulting, and that's from SDF at Extreme Skier. So that was I love that question because when we grew up, when the Canadian teams would get knocked out, especially out west, of course that's back when Edmonton was winning a lot. But so you'd have people cheering for them, but I could totally see that. Like my two nephews, one loves the Oilers, one loves the Flames. Well, it's every fiber in their being to care about the other team. That's a great question, and that also goes for the Islanders and the Rangers. I got buddies back on Long Island that he's a diehard Islander fan, and he could care less about the Rangers, and I think it's probably the same. We should ask Linda Cohn that. She's a big Rangers fan, and hockey's going back to ESPN. I'd like to know her take on it, but my view is on it. I
think Luciano earlier answered that question by saying hockey's over for him this year. He will not watch hockey, and I'm like, you lie. You'll watch other hockey games. I think it's. I will say at some point you should have your team that you love, but at some point, should the team you love outpoint the game? Like, do you love the game more? Or do you love the team more? That's the way I look at it.
Well, you always have people, and you look back to the first year in Vegas, people loved the underdog, the Golden Knights. So they were like, this is unbelievable watching what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Now you still have a lot of people that's Vegas is kind of their second favorite team, but not as many as there used to be because Vegas has had some success, and everyone's like going,
right.
What are they doing? But I know you're going to get people pulling from Montreal because Montreal was kind of last one into the playoffs, right? I mean, or at least the lowest point total. So I don't know. You got original six if they stick around. You got all the history of Boston. You got all the history in Boston and the island. You got this young team in Colorado that is so much fun to watch. You got the Knights are still kicking. You got the Stanley Cup champions. And then what a great story Carolina is. Now they're down against the wall here. But there's lots of fun storylines. And I think what brings us back to that is the Canadian teams. I'm sure a lot of people in Canada are cheering for the Canadians now because they want to see a Canadian team win. A Canadian team hasn't won since '93.
I get why he's saying this. Like he's saying, don't tell me who I should cheer for just because I'm from Canada. I should be able to cheer for whatever team I want, which I get. But at the same time, I think it's fun to go through games and not having a dog in the fight. It's just that way you can go back and forth. All right, they scored.
Well, we're cheering for Winnipeg because our buddies there, right? I mean, and I'm dumbfounded at how they're down, and by the time this airs tonight, they could be out for the season. I don't know what's happened in Winnipeg. Obviously, they got off to the wrong start in the first game. Then the Scheifele hit with the suspension is just throwing them for a loop, and they just can't seem to find what they need to get going. And Montreal has every answer right now. So. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think I would look at it, and I know Don Cherry said a few years ago, Grapes, he said, the team with the most Canadians on it was Vegas. I don't know who's got the most Canadians on it or who's got the most Americans or Europeans now, but I would like to see, I think Tampa Bay looks like they're going to be really tough. The Islander Boston series, who knows who's going to come out of that? They might have one or two guys left standing after they're finished.
Right, yeah, I said Boston earlier. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah. So, pick who you like. If you got a player, I would think that if people have certain players they like on teams, that's probably
cheer for the person inside the jersey, not the jersey. There's going to be somebody. I'm sure there's an Edmonton Oiler out there that's playing someplace else that you'd like to cheer for. So
absolutely. Absolutely. So that's a great question. So thanks for sending it in.
Great question, but suck it up, fucking Oilers fan.
You're gonna get some horns today. I like it. People like it when you're greasy, so you can, that's good. I like it.
I like it. Well, should we go into shout outs? What should we do? Do we have anything else we need to talk about before we get?
No, I think we got to get here. But I'm looking down at my phone a lot this week. My apologies. I don't want to mess this next one up because we have some.
When you get on your phone, that's when you seem to robot the most. To be honest with you, you robot. I talk about it, but tonight, right after the show today, I'm going on the computer and I'm buying you a cord.
Hey, do you want to tell everybody about the light you brought down to Vegas for me, and then there was a major component of the light missing. You want to tell everyone that?
I forgot about the cord. I forgot the cord. You told him last week.
So and the best part about it is we're trying. Ian shows up at the house. It's 1,000,000 degrees. Mini Pearl. She hates that. Lou doesn't care. The other guy, he's just flying around. Pearl's just trying to breathe. A little Frenchie trying to breathe in the hot weather. And then we open up the light, and all these bolts fall on the floor, and we have no cord to plug it in. So we're spending the rest of the weekend picking up bolts and no cord to plug the light in. But next weekend, Ian's guaranteed me that light's going to make me look much better, so I can't wait. But
Sharples, we're trying to get things done. Calm it down. I'm sending you a cord.
Okay, here we go. I got to read this out because this is really important.
Okay.
Taya, I think it's Taya, right? Or Taya.
Taya. Yeah.
And I apologize, but this is big stuff. First female ever drafted in the OHL draft. She's a 16-year-old girl from Ontario, goalie, and she was drafted by, I believe, the Sarnia Sting.
The Sting.
this last weekend, which is incredible. First time ever it's happened. So I'm sure she'll go back and play AAA midget or the highest level minor hockey. She can play again next year, and then they'll look over the next year or two to see if she can break into their lineup. So I wanted to make sure I got that out. And actually, you know what, Mr. Bagg, I sent that to you the other day, so we can probably post it up above. Anyways, fantastic story. This young lady is sitting in there and having all these kids shoot the pucks at her 90 miles an hour. It's impressive.
Yeah, you know what's great about that is just it's another crack in that stupid glass ceiling that they have for females, that, you know, if you can play the sport, you can play the sport. Who cares what your XY is, or your YY, your X? I don't even know. I didn't even go to college.
No way.
I went to acting school.
My heart right now. All these years, I thought you were a 4-year degree, but
well, Jeff, thanks for making me feel bad about it.
I don't think together we could add up to half a year of college education on this podcast. So that's okay. That's all right.
This is the non-educated podcast. we should have called it Dumb and Dumber. They'd never figure out which one it was. I want to get Violent Gentlemen send us some swag, Jeff, just to let you know. I got some shirts.
Good. Yep. And our friends from Liquid Death, we haven't had them on. Our water company, they haven't been on for a week. And we got another one. I think we talked about this week 21. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Another sponsor coming in. It's just flying in. But we only got one can of this next product, so maybe we'll do one when you and I are in Vegas together.
We'll have to do it.
I'll tease that again for next week. I'm like, I gotta go over to the pro shop and talk to Randy, see if I can get another can of this drink. It's another drink that we'll bring up next week.
We're selling things all over the place. Jeff, good. Tonight's going to be exciting. I hope they can win, but at the same time, who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, I don't know. Winnipeg, we got our fingers crossed. I just would when you watch these series, and we'll get out of here real quick, but when you watch these series, what you want to see is these teams perform at a level that you're like, man, I don't know which way this is going to go. Like, you watch Vegas and Colorado, it's crazy, just up on two wheels. But you watch Winnipeg and Montreal, and Winnipeg hasn't got to their game. So, you know,
Winnipeg is not. They're not playing their game at all. So
they're out of it. And Boston and New York, same thing. Those guys are going at it. Carolina's had some tough breaks against Tampa Bay. If they want to have any chance, they got to stay off the power play. Tampa Bay was 3 for 6 the other night. So, but Winnipeg is the team left right now that just hasn't really got it going, and it's a shame because they got really good people that are part of that organization, and they have really good, some just fabulous top forwards. So hopefully tonight, and their goalie's terrific. Hopefully tonight they get one in Montreal and get this series going a little bit.
I'd like to see them just win one. I'd like to see them not get swept, but that's what I'd like to see. I don't think they have a chance in hell in winning the series, but I'd like to see them not get swept.
Yeah, not the way Montreal's going. They got it. They've got to their game for sure. So other than Taya Curry, giving a shout out to her. Remind everyone that Mr. Bagg will be here in Vegas at Desert Pines Golf Course doing his comedy thing. And then is that the 25th? Yeah. Did I screw that up? Is it the 25th or 30th?
It's the 25th.
25th. Come see us down. We might even bring the dogs out again. June 25th, Desert Pines Comedy Club. See, I got you a shameless plug.
I might shower next week. Woo! All right, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon.
Love to all.
Love to all.
Hey, everybody. Well, that wraps it for another week of enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian. Number 21. We got through it this week. We really enjoy when you send us questions and get the feedback from you. So thanks for sending questions. Keep doing it. Other than that, that's all I got. Have a great week.